In the still of the night, we're taking flight, searching for signs, gotta find the light. Shadows with secrets, hiding in plain sight. ET encounters, shining stars ignite. We're unraveling mysteries, reaching for the sky. Every counter we open up our eyes, exploring the realms where the legends reside. In the heart of the night. We drift and we roam, finding our place in the vastness we call home. With courage and wonder we reach for the light, guided by visions that illuminate the night. Mystery cloaked in the past unknown, truth and discovery seeds we sow. In the starlit wonder we seek the key, to unlock the secrets of our galaxy. Where the stars and secrets blow, some Nation X radios glow. In the night we'll ride the show into the unknown, unknown, where mysteries are shown, dance to the beat we own, yeah. Come with us and let it go. Night sky whispers in the dark, secret trails will leave a mark. Follow, cross, ignite that spark. We're alive, it's just the start. Into the unknown, unknown, where mysteries are shown, Into the unknown, unknown, where mysteries are shown. Dance to the beat we own, yeah. Come with us and let it go, go. Feel the rhythm, feel the night. Every heartbeat, pure delight. Mysteries come to light. Hold on tight, it's out of sight. Into the unknown, unknown, where mysteries are shown. Dance to the beat we own, yeah. Come with us and let it go, go.
I have to unmute my mic, I guess. Welcome to SNX Review. This is Coley, and we have Rodney tonight. Rodney, how are you doing? How's everything going?
Oh, doing great. Things are starting to warm up here. We're thawing out in New York. Hope everything's going great for you.
We're thawing out, but we're not as optimistic. We're expecting something else. We usually get, something along the way, but yeah, New York, wow. Yeah, Iowa, it's kind of definitely more laid back, but yeah, definitely. We have a really cool guest on. Her name is Dee Moonflyer. She's a hostess of Twilight Tonic Paranormal Podcast. And I was actually a guest on there, so I was super excited. She was a great host, absolutely great host. Her mother was a devout Catholic and had a profound experience during her pregnancy that led for a life-altering transformation, both mentally and spiritually. I bet. Despite her Catholic beliefs, she introduced her daughter to mediumship. Oh, that's great. UFOs, mediation, automatic writing, and a wide range of metaphysical techniques, always stressing that there was such thing as a supernatural, only the natural. And I think that's absolutely wonderful because my mom wanted to call a priest and have an exorcist done. So to have an open-minded mother, that's great. So she grew up surrounded by these open-minded teachings. She had many personal experiences throughout her childhood. However, it wasn't until she retired from her successful career as a professional dancer, I didn't know that, began to focus more deeply on her abilities and unexplained phenomena she has encountered. So I grew up a medium too, so I definitely can relate. Her podcast, Twilight Tonic Paranormal Podcast, you guys have to check it out. I'll include the links and all that to all of her social media too. So she's got a firm belief that knowledge is power, definitely. And she has dedicated herself to learning, growing, and encouraging with others to unravel the mysteries of the unseen world. So she's definitely great. So without further ado, I have to ask her about this professional dancing because I'm very curious. So bring her on. Wouldn't that be cool? That would be like the best. So
Yeah, it's a great opportunity to talk with another podcaster about people that she's interacted with and the experiences that she's had and what it was like growing up. Yeah.
yeah, I'm very interested.
Yes.
Yeah, the dancing. Yeah, that's cool too. Yeah, but I grew up like that, and so I'm just really curious that I mean, my grandmother was very open, but yeah, like I said, my mom, she was crazy Catholic. She was definitely not open-minded. But without further ado, we are gonna bring Dee on. Here we go.
Hi guys.
Hello.
Hey, Dee.
Welcome. Yeah. Dee Moonflyer. So I have to ask really quick. Professional dancing. Can you tell us about that?
Oh gosh, well I was danced since I was a little girl, but I was a professional Middle Eastern dancer for 35 years. So I traveled to Turkey, all over the US, and I had a modern dance company as well, and I taught at a college. So
Wow, that's awesome. That's amazing. And so you grew up a medium too? Is that like did you start seeing spirits I started like seeing auras around people and things like that. What was your experience like with that?
well, it was really odd because what happened to my mom I think led up to my experiences. She's from New York State, and she was driving between Potsdam and St. Regis Falls when she was pregnant with me, and she saw a UFO, her in the car behind her. And they pulled over, she pulled over, and they were looking up, but when they looked at each other, gone. So that started her spiritual journey. She was a very straight. We had to go to church every Sunday all the way up to us 13. And we were given a choice to stay or go. And she introduced us to every religion, but she had experiences her whole life. And as far as my mediumship, I would just see them like people when I was a child.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What age do you remember seeing them or started to see them?
I've seen a little girl named Elizabeth, and my mom's guide. My mom thought it was a guy from the 1940s with a hat and everything. He would always stand in her room at night when my dad wasn't around. And he was very calming, but I would just randomly see things and not think about it because my mother wasn't the type to be like, oh, that's horrible. You can't do that. She actually was interested in it because she had those abilities herself. And I think some of it, too, I'm very dyslexic. And I think dyslexics, when you have this issue, you tend to like look outside of the norm anyway, just for survival purposes.
Right. I flip numbers. But
Yeah.
so I mean, it's the struggle is real. But so how extreme is it? Like, is it hard? Do you?
Oh my gosh! I'll write a whole letter and leave out a paragraph. I thought I put it.
No, that's
I
definitely
see words backwards.
Wow,
so
that's
I've had it my whole life, but I think it helped me open more senses for protection purposes. Always felt like what was going on around me.
Yeah.
And I think that helped.
So you and your mother were like learning together in this process, or was she already had a head start for you?
Well, I think it started when I was really little with my mom. After her experiences, I started having experiences. So, and they were really hilarious, odd experiences. And then I look back on it, like we lived in Michigan in a 2nd-story apartment. And my mom bought me an easel that day. I had to be like 4 and a half because my brother wasn't quite yet born. And she bought me an easel and I was so excited. I mean, I was like, oh, we went to Toys R Us and I got easel. And I got to watch Sesame Street because I love puppets. And I had to take a nap. I was devastated. But all of a sudden, there were these 3 things that I thought were puppets in my window. And even as a little girl, I'd be like, how are you guys up here? What do you want? And they were showing me weather patterns. And over and over.
So do you think it was paranormal or ET? Because I've heard, so if you're a child experiencer, it's totally different from like, I mean, I hear like my buddy would talk about how they'd play Paul the Ball and kind of like, playful like that. So do you think it was ET or do you think it was paranormal? Or do you think it's both? I mean, I know you interview a lot of people.
Yeah, I think they were visitors because it continued. I began to like, even as a kid, be afraid of my own window because they always appeared in my window. Or an animal would appear in my window. So they were not scary to me until I was 16. Then it switched. And it switched quickly. And that moment of that switching over probably changed me quite a bit. And it happened in Sun Clare, New York, between St. Regis Falls and Potsdam, where my grandparents lived. There was this beautiful campsite, and it was a street full of my relatives. And we'd go every summer. I never had an issue until I was 16. And that's when I saw, I believe it's a gray. Back then, I thought it was a vampire from Salem's Lot because it was bald with big eyes.
Yes. There's nothing like staring in those eyes when you. I mean, it's just like there's a whole, and there's a lot of theories on it that there have contacts in. I've heard from a few different people, but I just remember looking like
that they wear. I'm not sure. All I know, it was completely different from my childhood experiences with them. So it switched into adulthood. And then I began to realize and felt them before they would come. I always feel watched. And then the whole thing turned to like fear-based because I didn't know when they were going to appear. I didn't know what was going on. but it was always weather patterns, star constellations, and mathematical equations, which is really weird. You do not want to give me a mathematical equation or play Scrabble with me. You're not going to get anywhere.
So did they tell you why you were here?
No, it was always very, very straightforward. It was always like, even when I had the experience where I thought I was having surgery, they took whatever was going on, they took the same shape as my doctor at the time. I couldn't get pregnant, I was having problems. And I was in just a sterile room on a silver, looked like, gurney type of thing. And she came over to me. She goes, "This is going to hurt. Don't move." But it wasn't said kindly, or it had no emotion to it.
Yeah.
Whatsoever. None. And it did hurt. And I woke up just feeling really weird for a couple of days. Yeah. And my mom did find things in her body I never have. Like, she found like things that look like BBs in her legs and stuff. I never had that. They were always visitors to me, or intruders. I think I'm more uncomfortable with them now than I was when I was a child.
I always say, I've gone through that too, and I describe that for a couple days. I feel really off. I just kind of isolate. It's like you have to digest that.
Yeah.
So it's not easy to digest.
Yeah, when I was a kid, my mom, we moved to Wadsworth. My dad worked for Kmart and Kresge's, and he got transferred a lot. And then Wadsworth, we had experiences because we had 2 acres of land going back. And I remember as a little girl, my mom said, "Go." She grabbed me. The whole house had lit up. And that was like really weird. And that lasted about 4 or 5 minutes. It disappeared, and there were helicopters in my backyard.
Wow, I didn't expect this, honestly, Dee Dee. This is really hitting close to home. Potsdam, that area is not that awful far from me.
I love that part of the country.
Do you think those first experiences, I've heard similar stories like this before, experiences, and it's like they're getting us ready as a child for that interaction that might be the negative or scary later on in life. It's at that certain age where the transition happens, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, then I became frightened of them. And it was the 80s, so we didn't really talk about that much.
Oh, no,
that was kind of taboo. That was like you saw In Search of, or, Chariots of the Gods. It just wasn't talked about. And then when Close Encounters came out, of course, people talked about it then. But yeah, my whole childhood was an amazing childhood, full of adventure and strange things. But I was taught that was okay. So when I went to school, I would tell the kids, and my mom would be like, "No, you can't tell everybody."
No, you definitely can't.
No.
Yeah.
I thought it was okay.
And you know what? Going back, my grandmother, I remember her she saw the first UFO, and they got a picture of it, and they destroyed it. They were so worried that, having that, back then, there was that fear, of people. And yeah, I get that. I get that.
Yeah. Well, I found out with my mom too, 2 weeks prior, before it happened to her. I had a cousin in the St. Lawrence River, St. Clair, where you probably know where St. Clair is. It's right before St. Regis Falls. They used to have a campground there, and I think it was the St. Lawrence that ran through. Mm-hmm. Her deaf cousin saw about 5 or 6 of them over the water. And he couldn't hear. He was deaf, but he could feel the vibration.
Oh, I'm sure his senses. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's great that now in this age of information, we can link up and it's not so taboo, and because the medical field has failed us, if they just want to put us all on pills and say we're delusional and it was some kind of natural phenomena, ball lightning. But when you see many objects like that, we're seeing something. There's millions.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
I just think I think, I told my husband one time, I really thought about this. It's almost like being a lab animal, but I can't really describe it. That's kind of how I feel sometimes when I have contact with them. As I got older, it did get less. And then me and my husband had a night where we both experienced complete time loss on a walk.
How much time did you lose? I've lost time too. It's that part.
It had to be between 45 minutes and an hour. The weird part was I love birds, obviously, but particularly owls, and I love them. And we were just taking a walk, and it was a late February, and it was one of those warm nights you never get. So you go on a walk, and there was this huge owl in the middle of the road, and I got real excited. I'm like a 5-year-old. I want to get close to the owl. Well, I couldn't get close to the owl because I don't remember anything after that. Either does my husband. We don't remember passing the owl. We don't remember walking. We were on the other side of the neighborhood. And it's driving him crazy. That was like 2 years ago.
So you both you lost, like both of you were you just kind of like snapped to it together, or how did that's?
What was weird, we didn't even think about it until about 3 weeks later. He goes, "Do you remember passing that owl?" And I was like, "No." He goes, "I know you would have been in its face if you could." And no, we don't remember.
I know people have asked me before if I've considered regression therapy, hypnosis, to remember some of the things. I don't know if I want to, really, but is it something you might have ever considered yourself?
I have, but I'm not sure of it. I'm not sure I want to remember some of it. I'm not sure. I'm kind of curious, but I have almost a little bit of fear with that. Remembering something like that sticking in my head, I think might really be traumatic.
Do you trust them? I don't think I like. I just feel like I was a mental health therapist. I mean, that's different, but I still realize like that subconscious and how you're unconscious. I mean, it depends on what theory you're going with, but I mean, how easy it is. And I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but as an experiencer, like I've gone to like, like where they have the hypnotic like shows and things like that. And I will go under just like that. And have you experienced that ever? It's really bizarre. Like I'll instantly, so that's why I don't, I feel like right now my memories are of my own and I don't really want them tampered with. I don't know. What do you think?
I really not ready to dive into that because the memories I do have are significant to my life. Mm-hmm. And that's one reason when I retired from dance, I started my podcast. So maybe I could piece things together. Because when I tell the stories, I feel like, wow, that's really out there. But I was there. I saw it. I felt it. And I can't explain that to people. And I was tired of hiding, like not saying, yeah, I do believe in alien abduction. And I do believe that they're here. I don't know what they are. But to me, if they come into my room while I'm asleep, they're an intruder. Mm-hmm. That's how I feel.
It's in their space and their time. I mean, it's not like they're like, hey, we're going to come down and, but I was so excited. I asked for it. I would be like, oh, I want the tour. I was chasing them all around, it's like in the beginning of it's this like mass excitement. Like when you see them, like the UFOs, but like I said, they're, the paranormal, it seems like everybody has that mediumship or they have some sort of sensitivity. And then, but where do you think they cross? Like there has to be a point. And I do agree like with what you're saying, because I call them like points of reflection, that things were significant enough in my life to like stop me, and kind of like, okay, reconvene here. But I had some major medical issues and it was like a trade-off for me. So I guess, like regain my strength and it was like all this, but I do like, I've had some weird things. I had something in my ribs that I was like, and all of a sudden it was like, I felt it go up. And I remember I called Mufan Dave and I was like, oh, this, that. And then I was finding out like, I was like, so what's the next step? Like, what are we going to do now? Now that I've got there, like what happens? And they're like, well, we don't know. And I'm like, What do you mean you don't know? You know, like, you're the professionals here. What do you mean? Like, yeah, and so I was like, that was what baffled me the most. I was like, okay, so we got to find, we got to come together here. And I met some great people along the way that were really like comforting during those times. And it was like, man, I couldn't give it up. I thought at one point, I'm like, I got to give this up altogether. I couldn't. You can't. It changes your course of life.
It does.
Just
Yeah.
completely. So what do the paranormal, what was that like for you growing up? Was it intrusive?
No, because I had an advantage, I think. Both sides of my family, one was very Catholic, but we still had mediumship in the family. My great-grandfather read tea leaves on my mom's side. My dad's father's side, from Arkansas, his great aunt was a medium, and they'd come from all over the place, and they'd bring her those little compacts, fancy compacts, for a reading. And back then they were real elaborate, Yeah. And my grandma always talked about her. And she said everybody would come and pay her with a little cosmetic compact. She never wanted money. She just wanted one of those. And she was a medium. So I was fortunate that my mom already had that. My dad already had that in their family. So they didn't think of it. They just said it was part of life. It was part of nature. And they didn't want me to be frightened of it. It did have some influence when I started to see things I didn't want to see. And that happened twice, that I had to kind of back off and turn it off even as a kid. The night Elvis Presley died, I dreamt I was a man that shot in the face. And I remember that day because it was on the news. Elvis Presley died, and then in Dayton, Ohio, a man was shot in the face. So I would start to feel the physical pain. Mm-hmm. And then I started to back off when I was 13 more about it, because I felt a little boy getting his throat slit, and I saw that, and it happened in West Carrollton. So this was in the 80s.
Would you see it before, or would you see it after? Because a lot of times they would show me too how they died. Like, it was it was like during. Oh, wow.
So it was a really weird experience, and I tell my mom, and she helped me through that. She started to take me to like meditation classes with a lady named Elizabeth Kelly in Yellow Springs, Ohio. She took me to this guy named Alan Ramsey, which taught how to control your mediumship through meditation and things like that. So I was fortunate. But some of that scared me, but I didn't know how to handle the dream part, because those dreams feel very different than you just hitting REM asleep. They feel like you can answer questions. You feel like you're another person, or you're a witness.
Yeah.
And you're real aware of what's going on.
If someone else was going through these experiences, is there something that they could do to like protect themselves, you think, or?
I don't know why I had them, because since they happened so close to the actual event, I don't know how I could help them. So that was really frustrating and frightening as a kid, because you'd see something like that, and my mom would be like, "Why are you saying something like that?" And then it would be on the news like a half hour later, and I didn't know how to control that at that time. Now
Is it paranormal at that point, or that's more psychic? Something's reaching out to you.
Yeah, and, I did have paranormal in the house, because my mom always was dabbling in something. But we'd see objects move. I remember one time when I was 16, that must have been a magical year. We had this beautiful bookshelf, and a book just picked itself up and fell to the floor. We were both shocked, and that has stuck in my mind my entire life. And it was so weird. And now I'm not super religious, but my mom was Catholic, and it was the Bible that fell on the floor to a page, and she shut it and put it back on the thing, because she was shocked. So that kind of stuff always happened when we didn't expect it. Oh, yeah. But around 16, my abilities changed a little bit. When I was younger, there was nothing stopping me when I was little, because we're so open.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And you know what? I hate to say it like this, but mine really spiked right during womanhood. So right around that time, it was just like, and then I had to go and learn how to control it too, because they were coming and like asking me to go and call people or go and take Christmas presents. And I'm like, I can't do this, and you're sitting there and it's like people are around you and you know that they can't see what you're seeing. So I'd be like, it's, yeah, if they know that, I mean, then they come in droves, I say.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to be careful. Well, I had to be careful that in my early 20s, if I get a reading, that was weird.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of paranormal, I saw it too, right at that moment. I absolutely love the paranormal, but I too like. That's I love it.
I don't even know how that happens.
Oh man, it always does at the right time,
I know, and there's no light switch on the thing.
I've had my grandmother, when I was growing up, she dabbled, and I remember her having even like the wooden Ouija board and all of that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then my cousin and I were there, and we were young, I think maybe like 8, 9, and all of a sudden all of her cabinets in her kitchen, they were open.
Yeah.
And we're like, we're out of here, and we would need to go back in, and we're like, they probably shouldn't have been left alone, but back then it's like, you're okay.
Well, the 80s, we were left alone a lot.
Oh, for sure. There's nothing like it.
I don't know about you guys, I was a latchkey kid.
Oh yeah, I said I'm a proud degenerate of the Generation X.
I'm like,
I had 800 acres of woods to play cowboys and aliens with.
I'm so jealous.
Awesome. Me too.
New York State, that's a beautiful place. I definitely want to go back down there probably this summer at some point. I miss it a lot.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful.
I wouldn't live anywhere else myself. All we get is snow, no hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, wildfires, nothing,
Yeah.
Snow.
We're the earthquake. We are not earthquake. We get tornadoes all the time. Oh God.
You can keep them.
Yeah, no, they like will wipe out like one. I mean, we were out in one. I couldn't get my son to come in. I was like, Brody, you got to come inside. Not until we had this cat that he found outside. He wouldn't come in. I was like, okay, we got the cat. Let's just go. And it took out the city, like it was a township probably before and after us. And I was like, oh, that's a little close for comfort. You see those, clouds. But yeah. Lucky you don't have those, Rodney. Yeah, man, I'm jealous.
They get snow and it's bad.
Yeah.
We do too in Iowa.
Just send her some pictures. I just now found my Mini Cooper that was on the lawn. It was buried under 40 days and 40 nights of snow.
Okay, we don't have it that bad. We don't have it that bad.
My mom always talked about the snow there being like, they put the piles, the telephone poles, and kids used to climb up on those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to get too far off the topic, but this topic is really important to my wife. She experiences a lot of things like you girls were talking about. Myself, not so much, but no, she'll see these things right at work. They'll disturb her and try to get her distracted at work even. I had a man that used to follow me around with a strange hat that she can't describe. And she didn't really understand. He never interacted with her, but he would just follow me. And I never understood what that was all about.
Oh, wow. Was he like protective, watching over you, or was he more like...
Yeah, it's kind of the vibe she got because... It's the vibe she got because one day when she was at her mother's house spending the weekend, he came to her there and she gave me a phone call, and it wasn't a time where I did need her support about something. So yeah, so it wasn't negative. I didn't experience it. She experienced it for me, that there was some kind of attachment for a temporary time. That's all.
Wow.
You think he was one of your guides, maybe, just keeping an eye on you?
It very well could be. He looked like an everyday person, and yeah, just old-timey clothes, not too old, but it was hard for her to describe.
Yeah.
So when you guys see them, yeah, this does sound like somebody who's watching. When you see them, like when I see them, they're more like translucent, but it's like, that you can put your hand through, but it's like, like really heavy, maybe like fog type of. I can't. I don't know. Everybody kind of sees them different. I have seen them where they do look very much like, that kind of spooked me out a little bit because I was like, oh, they look like. I mean, they don't look like I can put my hand through them or anything.
Mhm.
Yeah. How do you guys experience them? I'm really curious.
Yeah. Well, I've experienced them a couple ways. One is the gray, and they frighten me. The one time I saw the very tall ones was with my little brother one night. And we were in our late teens, and we thought it would be fun to watch our favorite movies in our old sleeping bags. Okay? And we fell asleep, and I saw these tall beings coming down the hallway. He saw them too. He sat up and pointed and screamed and fell backwards. I was left there screaming. And about a minute or two later, my mom comes running down the hallway because she's hearing me scream. And my brother didn't remember any of it.
Oh, wow.
And she said that it felt really weird when she was running down the hallway. A lot of electricity, like a lot of prickly electricity. She goes, what happened? You know, what am I feeling? Those are the way I have seen them. Now, with the animals that I see in the window, or the owls, or the knocks that I hear, I think sometimes they use an animal that you love or trust to camouflage themselves. Like, it might not be an owl, or it might not be a coyote in the yard or something that I'm seeing, or a deer. Because every time that happens, I am so tired. It's like I have to go to bed, and I don't have control over being tired. And that sounds really odd. And then that's usually the night when the sleep paralysis kind of start too. So my experiences with them 16 on have not been pleasant necessarily. It's been more undescribable, weird stuff. Like, I'm still trying to understand the star constellations. They showed me the weather patterns, which obviously for some reason, yeah. And mathematics, not a clue why they would send me that. But that's been my experiences with them.
I would say that I think that, like, when I had a similar experience with the short grays and the talls, and they were more like, they let me go around freely, but I saw children, and I don't think that they've been brought forward yet. I don't think the children I don't know if they're here yet, but they look very much, and I felt like it was almost like they were, when they showed me stuff, it was not like I could hear them. It was like a picture. And they're very gracious. Like, I remember I asked, like, how they showed me how they, like, experience memory, and it's like holographic. Like, it just, like they're there, but it can't change anything to affect, like, the whole course of their history. But yeah, it's really fascinating to hear but it always seems like, it kind of goes along those lines. So as a medium, I don't like this part. I really don't. I can't like this, but I have, like, when Catherine, first lady that I had trained under, she's like, do you see my spiritual guide Ramus? I will never forget it. And this is how many years ago. And all of a sudden, they said my head went back and my eyes, like, started fluttering, and I was like, never again. No. So I would feel them. Sometimes it's like I'm talking and I feel them, like, and I'm like, no, we're going an arm there. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just too much, like an overload.
Yeah. I don't want somebody coming in my body and talking. Like, that's just too far for me. I don't know. No.
I'm lucky it's more of a conversation with them when they're around. Maybe I've had a couple to try to intrude, but since I was lucky and had classes as a kid, I think naturally I can set those boundaries. I don't do readings or anything.
I don't either.
I think I'd have to, like, work on myself first before I could help others. That would be very difficult for me. But it usually happens when I don't think about it. It usually happens if I'm happy and content. If I'm stressed, it doesn't happen as much.
Oh, wow.
So when I'm stressed out, I might see something in the corner of my eyes. You know, when you see someone there, you know they're there, but if you look, they're not there.
Yeah.
I have that happen a lot when I'm stressed. But if I'm calm and happy, 10 to 1, I might see something that day that I can't explain. Or my husband.
So they're feeding kind of off that. Do you feel like they take your energy, or they kind of
I've had a couple
part of it
that have. It was so funny. I was interviewing a medium one night, and nothing was going right. My computer was acting up. You know.
Sounds like mine earlier, yeah.
So I was like, you know, you get a little frustrated, you know. My husband's in there pushing buttons. He's like, well, what'd you touch? Nothing. But I never told her, but she said that my brother is near me. Your older brother's near you. And she goes, who's the guy in the bedroom? I was like, oh, the hoodie guy. One of my friends came over one night from a bar and brought an attachment into my house. And it was, I call it the hoodie guy because it was always near my bed, and he had a black hoodie on like a teenager. Mm-hmm. And she goes, oh, that hoodie guy's got to go. I'm like, he's not really bothering me. He goes, oh, no, he likes you. I'm like,
oh, even better.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
so what was the attachment? Do you know? Because usually there's something about you that they like kind of.
Well, they brought it in, and I acknowledged him one night. I told him, I said, you know, you can't be in my bedroom, and you can't be in the bathroom, and you're going to have to leave. And he knew I saw him. And she said, talk to his grandma. His grandma will come get him. So me and my husband were walking around the house with our little rose spray, because I can't burn sage with parrots. I have to take them outside of the house. So we're saying this prayer she sent, spraying, and I finally said, I'm calling your grandma right now. And I didn't have any issues with him after that. He left.
Oh, wow. Sometimes they don't. I had one that was coming up and baring its teeth at me. It took a little bit to... No. It was, I was like, I picked it up though. I was having my Akashic Records read by somebody who was in our group, and Joe Magno, he's a professor at one of the colleges that's local, and there was probably about 5 of us that were a part of it, and it was like, I mean, it took a little bit to get rid of it. I was like, man, it was like, you know, and I picked it up at her house. And then I was like, every time. And the hoodie guy, like, now I saw when they were going into my Akashic Records, it was so bizarre because all of a sudden I was a Native American, and I was so certain that this was the right call to make. And I like led all these people into mass slaughter, and I could see it all. She could see it all. It was so weird. But she said that's kind of what I carry with me. So I have like a mirror, like, you know, like I have my pilot's license, and I just always say like this, like the first time I went out and sold it, I had to think I was going to crash the plane. Like, here goes nothing, for to know that it would be okay. You know, it's just like this mirror image of things. But yeah, I mean, it is a wild ride. It really is. What was it like coming out and telling other people about the UFOs? I always have to laugh about this.
Well, only for the longest time, only my husband and a few friends knew that I had these experiences. And I think those experiences follow you throughout your life, maybe in a different mode. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I feel like the older I get, the experiences are changing a little bit for me. When they show up, it's usually, I just know they're going to come. And it's usually a night that I sleep through the night and don't remember anything, because I'm a night person. I'll wake up throughout the night. But if I fall into a deep sleep and I can't move, I know they're around.
Yeah, you can feel them. See, like when I would see them, some people would pick up on it, like because it's like I'm looking past them, like you know, it's kind of like you learn how to go in. I remember when I was doing like group therapy, that was a time, and I don't know if it was because I was so focused, you know, doing it, but they would start popping up with people. I was like, okay. So sometimes I would like write them and I'd be like, I had a dream. It was always, I had a dream. But that's done back, like I said, luckily your mom was open. My grandmother was very open. But my mother wanted to go and get a priest and have like an exorcist. I remember I was like 7 or 8
Well,
years old. So I was like, well, no.
it's really odd. Even though my mom grew up very Catholic, and she wanted me to be Catholic, but she never pushed the issue. She still did all of her other practices, obviously. But some of the priests now and nuns nowadays are very open to like mediumship and things like that. I've run across a few of them. If anything, they're more curious about asking questions. So I'll give that to them.
Like, what kind of questions would they ask? For like,
I had a priest ask me why I see or do those things, and I just told him I was raised that way. My mom was even Catholic, and he goes,
yeah,
that scares me. I'm like, but it's not scary. You do the same thing when you're at church. You're talking to somebody. It's the same thing. Your prayers, meditation. When they say they hear God or an angel speak or a saint, it's the same thing. They're doing mediumship. They just don't want to say, yes, we are.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. You're right. And,
well, then it would contradict what they're trying to teach you. That's why, of course.
Exactly. And I remember going to church with my relatives, and they'd go play poker the same night and get drunk. I mean, they're wild a little bit.
Yeah, I remember my grandma, they used to have gatherings, and my aunt was able to like read with playing cards, and they all had, but she got spooked up because they had I was always fascinated by the Ouija board with the, the glass pendulum and everything. But she said she pulled that thing out so quick, and she didn't know what to do with it. The table had levitated. And so she's like, that was enough for her. She's like, we're getting rid of that. I was like, Grandma, no, so it was always underneath, but she got rid of the glass part of the pendulum. And I was like, oh man, I still look for it. Yeah, I don't know why I would look for it, but I do.
Now, do you guys experience any sleep paralysis?
Not since I was a kid, no.
It's very scary though. A lot of people do. They describe like somebody. I remember like when I was younger, before I really had a grasp on it, I felt something. When you see the darker than dark, that's the only way I can describe them.
Yeah.
Completely a dark room, but yet you can see them. Shadow of them.
The shadow people.
Yeah, and I felt like somebody pushing me down, and that I wasn't crazy about either. So, but I thought it didn't happen very often, and I'm pretty conscious, spirits of the white light, the love of God, stay with me. Spirits not of the white light and love of God, leave. It's like that's what they taught me to do, and the crystal cave or lock them in the. So it's that part has been beneficial, but I love going into haunted places. I really do. I go crazy though. I get my roller skates and I'm pounding on stuff. I was kicked out of the local ghost hunting group for that, so I don't know. Didn't appreciate it. Who wants to sit for 8 hours with an EVP? Let's get it going. The show on the road. Yeah, I get my roller skates on, even I'd be like, pounding on the walls, or I'm rifling through your things. Geez, what am I doing here? But yeah, do you do any paranormal investigations, or have you?
I've been on a few. I am a strange creature. I go to events sometimes, but I keep very quiet. And I've been on 3 of them. And the last one I went on, the place I was at, I would always get a huge migraine. I couldn't be in there very long at all. It really bothered me. And 2, I think sometimes if you have that energy and they know they can communicate, it's almost like they, they poke at you, but it might not necessarily be the haunt that they're after. Because if there's an old building and people are like using their abilities and stuff to talk to things, well, it could be like a homeless ghost just walking by, and it might not be the entity they were hunting. and those are draining. I think
Oh,
they're
yeah.
draining. So
I-
even though I love a good cemetery and a great old house, kind of like being home with my bird.
There is, I about 2 days before we go in, I start to get a reading on it, and then somebody's like, they know you're coming before you know you're coming, and I was like,
Oh
that's
yeah,
very
they do. Yep. My friend Rod Weiss that owned the crystal shop, he passed away in October, but
Oh,
he was going to do a reading, and I always knew, because I could always feel something in there. You know, they always know. And it was like the latch on the front door clicked and opened. Nothing. I didn't see anyone. I know they were walking by, but they knew he was going to do a reading because he was a very good medium. And they would just click, walk by, and I'd be like, okay, come on in. I don't see you, but welcome. So, yeah, they always know. I think they do, because they don't have time like we have time.
Yeah, you're right. And I think that's the case too. Like I remember one time, I was watching the clocks. We had just moved, and they were flashing. Like it was like 3 different clocks. I was fall asleep on the couch. I couldn't sleep. I was like, man, just moved. New place. I just didn't adjust well. And I was watching those clocks, and they went from 5 to all of a sudden they all blinked like 3 times. It was 5:40, and I was like, whoa, where did that 40 minutes go to? It's just.
Wow.
Yeah, it was enough. But did you have any markings or ever wake up like with anything like that?
Bruising sometimes, like weird bruises. Weird things on my back sometimes. Not scratches, but just red marks. And I didn't know where they even came from, because I thought I was asleep. So yeah, I have, but I think I was so traumatized at one point I didn't want to keep track, because I didn't want to find anything. So I was probably the opposite of a lot of people that have been abducted. I didn't really go after that. I kind of shied away from it. And now I'm more welcoming. You can come and talk to me, but please just don't intrude my home. They're going to intrude anyway, because they don't have the same boundaries or the same, I don't think they don't have the same time that we have.
Oh,
so
definitely.
For them to come in and take us, or we have an experience with them, it feels completely different, I think, to them than it does us. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
They
So
probably
I
long for
asked.
that.
what's
Oh,
that,
go ahead.
Rodney?
Sorry, Rodney.
I was just saying they probably long for that physical connection, maybe even.
Yeah. I often wonder, because you can sense when they're around, because I always feel watched.
Yeah, I
It's
get
always
that.
an odd feeling that I'm being watched and I don't know why. And I'm usually alone. I'm usually in the house. But it's not the kind of watching that another human being is watching you. It's like this weird sense. And usually if I have a lot of contact with them, I have a lot more like paranormal things happen. So I don't know when they do communicate, if this is going on, and I'm not woo-woo, but it seems to me when they communicate with us, or whomever, it seems like our abilities are stronger. So I don't know, coming in contact with them does something to our brain temporarily, but I feel and see things a lot more clear on a spiritual level if I feel like they have been around. And I can't pinpoint why.
Have you ever been directly? When I've come in contact with another medium, it's almost like we'll play like this game of chess. It's like they can feel and I can feel, but it's like then there's almost like that surge where everything kicks up. It's
Energy
phenomenal.
recognizes energy.
I always say I know one of my own. I'll sense it like.
Yeah. I think we know. I think everyone has abilities. Obviously, we're human beings. We have them. But if you're aware of them, you tend to bond with people that have certain energies or certain belief system. I call them my soul group. And these soul groups, the people that I enjoy talking to, are important to me because I have a connection, I think, psychically, mentally, right away.
And you don't have to explain all of it. It's like,
yeah, I
man.
mean, I've had friends look at me and say, "You're a little crazy, aren't you?" You see little people.
And I always say, I know my crazy. So you want to go there, I know it. So I own it. I mean, I just remember, it kind of like when I didn't tell a lot of people about that either, but then it was like, people started to pick up on it. And with the ET thing, though, I asked why I was here, and they came back for communication. So everybody would be like, do you have to ask? And I was like, yeah, I got to do whatever I got to do out of this. I thought this was like a short term, like whatever. So we go places, I'd be like, you have to say it. I'm like, yeah.
I'm afraid to ask them because they'll probably tell me to be a weather girl.
I love it. So what are the weather? You talked about weather patterns before. What can you kind of explain that?
When I was young, it was always about the weather, things moving, earth changes. And it was weird because the first time I remembered was the second story window, and they looked like puppets to me from Sesame Street. So they showed me cloud patterns and thunderstorms and things like that. And so as a kid, I kept asking them, the stupidest kid, how did you get up here? Where are your feet? Because it was a second story building. We had to go upstairs to get to the apartment. So I kept asking that as a kid, and they didn't upset me or make me nervous. I was just like blown away that they were floating, whatever it was. So
yeah,
and then as time went on,
for sure.
Yeah, to me, they were puppets. They were little people. That's how I interpreted them. I wasn't afraid of them until I got older.
Do you feel like they're imagining themselves like as a puppet? That's a few childhood experiencers that I know. They kind of talk about it, how they felt kind of tricked. They play little games with them and kind of lure them in. So yeah, I was not a childhood experiencer. Like I was a child, I experienced mediumship, but never ET. But I feel like maybe I did. I just didn't know exactly what it was. I don't know.
Yeah, I was always frightened of certain places too. Like I used to remember covering up my head and telling myself, if I don't move, they won't see me tonight. As long as I don't move, I'm fine. But those were
scary.
The rougher nights. Like I'd wake up all hours of the night as a little kid. And I think I was actually frightened of them, but they were so tiny and cute, I thought, that I wanted them there also. So I was frightened, curious. And once I hit 16 and actually saw it, maybe the real whatever it was in New York State, that scared me. That kind of changed my thoughts about what I'd seen as a kid. Because the feeling was absolutely frightening. Like I can't describe it to you. I couldn't move. And I was awake because it was the 80s and we used to take eyeliner, heat the eyeliner up and put it on our eyes, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was our thing.
Tight roll those jeans and hairspray that. Yeah. Oh, definitely. The bigger wave, the better.
Yes. Well, of course, look at my hair. It never went up, but I thought it would. I remember that night because I couldn't get the stupid eyeliner off because I had really wore eyeliner dark. And I was kind of mad because I wanted it off, and I went and laid down by my mom. No, as soon as I hit the pillow, couldn't move. I felt very heavy, like electric feeling, and I saw it coming towards me. That whole time, those new experiences were the most unpleasant things because I could feel them. I felt watched and scared to death. I was so frightened that I managed to break whatever paralysis I was in. And I was awake when that happened. I rolled over my mother screaming at the top of my lungs. I woke up the whole household, and my mom's like, "What did you just see?" And I was like, bulbous thing in the corner. And all I could say was, "Oh, like the Salem Lots vampire, but much shorter."
Oh, wow.
That's the only way I can describe it, because I didn't have any reference. Even though my mom talked about aliens, She watched all the shows, Chariots of Fire. It was completely different when you're in the midst of it and you see them coming at you.
Oh, yeah.
And then when I lived in Texas, I was 16, 17, when I was 18, I lived in Austin, Texas. And the guy I was with at the time felt the experience. So when we would drive, we were driving from Austin to the ocean. And we had to drive past this like little desert almost area down the highway. And we were both tired. And all of a sudden I had this overwhelming feeling that if we don't keep going, because he pulled over, they're coming. They're coming and they're coming and I don't want to see them. He felt it. He looked at me. He goes, "What is that?" I go, "Just drive." And I was almost in tears because it was such a heavy feeling that something was coming. And he drove and he goes, "I don't know what's up with you." He goes, "I feel something and I can't grasp it when I'm with you sometimes." And I think that kind of emotion and feeling with them made me think more of an intrusion than a spiritual thing for me. Even though I don't know what they want, I still am very apprehensive about it. And that's why I probably haven't gone under hypnotherapy for it.
What do you think about, you know what, before I ask you the question, we're at the top of the hour, so we just have to take a 5-minute break. So, and then I'll come back and ask you. So this is getting so fascinating. So you guys will remember where we left off and then pick up on there. But yeah, I can, this is great. I'm just getting into it. So, yep, we're just going to take a little bit of a break and we'll be right back. So, yeah, love it.
Get your every melon and then greatest style of watch the jiggy open. And then hey, just still the house using C, no school. I fist upon the first of light tea. Never rest perfect. Your taste in the space, rough the hate, bounce and soul style often. But I freaking wicked. If I give you for no proc, cause never sure it. You got the not thingy, kinda now still less in the teach film and space and hate to taste of tasting. Sweet eating the baby song. Stone bombing with the flow bomb. I shine your fat like nice gold man stands. This a way world with a bitch obsessed. These people fall local investing. That's the one fulfill a wishing.
Sunlight on my face, gonna make it worthwhile. Feel the good vibes embrace. Step into the street, music in the air. Move into the beat, no worries to declare. We're chasing happiness and never ever can. Living in the moment like a never-ending dance. Chasing happiness, not a single day is planned. Together we are stronger, hand in hand. Laughing with my friends, chasing happiness and never will again. Living in the moment like a never-ending dance. Chasing happiness, not a single day's blend. Together we are stronger, hand in hand. Hand in hand. Laughing with my friends, echoes in the park, joy that never ends, even when it's dark. Stars shine in the night, mirror in our eyes. Everything feels right underneath the skies. We're chasing happiness and never will again. Living in the moment like a never-ending dance. Chasing happiness, not a single day's blend. Together we are stronger, hand in hand. Hand in hand. Hand in hand.
Dark where shadows play, whispers of secrets that lead us astray. Lights in the sky, they flicker and fade. Questions arise and truths are betrayed. Echoes of voices from ages long past, glimmers of knowledge too rare to last. Chasing the night where the wild things roam. Are we alone or are we headed home? Mysteries, mysteries, dances in the dark. UFOs shining, igniting the spark. Aliens calling from faraway lands. Cryptids and Sasquatch, just take a chance. Illuminate the skies and break down the walls. Secrets unwrapped, hear the ancient calls. Together we rise, we won't be alone. Exploring the unknown, it's time to be shown. In every heartbeat there's a story untold. In the stillness, the mysteries unfold. Off-world entities drifting through time. Paranormal whispers so hauntingly sublime. In the silence of night, there's magic to find. Embrace the enigma, let go of your mind. Eyes in the woods, they dance in the mist. Cryptids and legends, a chance we can't miss. Conversations with experts unravel the threads, connecting the tales of the living and dead. From the depths of the ocean to the stars up high, the stories we chase will never die. Every encounter creates and remakes the fabric of life, intertwined with mistakes. Mysteries, mysteries, dances in the dark. UFOs shining, igniting the spark. Aliens calling from faraway lands. Cryptids and Sasquatch, just take a chance. Embrace the unknown, let curiosity lead. The truth lies within and it sets us free.
And welcome back to SNX Radio. This is Coley and Rodney, and we have our dear special guest, Dee. So we were talking about the paranormal and UFOs, and she's experienced it all from childhood. So it's just fascinating. Now I had I had a question for you. Now I have to rethink it. No, I forgot. But let's go on. and two, if anybody has questions, please just leave them all in caps, and we can get to those too. Yeah, it's just absolutely fascinating. So we do actually see here. From the Champion of Fairness on X, ask, can you explain when physically you know that you have been to certain places before, but it looks so familiar, like probably maybe talking about deja vu or things like that.
Past life experiences, maybe.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah. Maybe past life memories. That's what I always said. I think all of us are influenced by our past lives.
Definitely.
But I think that's why I danced for so many years. I think it had to do with the past life memory. So, yeah, when I was in Turkey, it was like deja vu every day. It's like I'd walk down the street and go, I know that place. Why do I know this? So, and then the fourth time I went, I was done. It was like even my dance career changed at that point. Once I went there, came home, I would say about 5 years later, I was pretty much done with that part of the world. And I didn't know how it happened because I was obsessed with Istanbul. I was obsessed with certain places in the United States, New England particularly. I love New England. It's like I've been there. It feels familiar. Turkey felt very familiar. It almost took my breath away when I was walking down the street. I was like, oh, home. An odd place, There's no family.
Did you speak the language? I mean, the culture?
I
mean,
know
that's
a few words. Everyone speaks English.
Oh, okay.
It was an experience, and I think I was so drawn to the Romani and the Kurds. I love their music. The Romani music, I love it. I love the way they dance and the way they move. The Kurdish people, I love their music. It seems so familiar to me. Their culture was familiar to me. And it was almost like when I would walk down Istanbul, it was like I'd been there. I could feel it. Your body feels different. Everything about it made me go. But when I was done with it, I couldn't wait to get home. And it took me 4 times of going, and I spent a lot of time there, like 30 to 60 times.
Oh, wow.
60 days at a time. So
how did you get in
dancing?
How did you start? I mean, that's a pretty that's amazing. That really is. I mean, what an amazing life to be able to travel around like that and express yourself like that.
It was a hard life, actually. I was actually not a natural performer. I used to get sick before I performed. Nobody ever believes me when I tell them that, but I'd look for the exits. I hated it, actually.
I get that.
I'd be like, oh God, they're going to see me do this. Am I good enough? But I saw a show, National Geographic, when I was like 14 or 15. It was a rerun about a famous dancer in Egypt named Lucy. And I saw it, and my whole soul lit up. Like, I recognized that music. I recognized the people. And it felt like home. I was like, oh my gosh, I got to learn it. And then I started to learn Arabic dance, Egyptian folk dancing, all of that. And then
that's not easy. That is not easy.
24, and this is where the deja vu really hit me when I went to Turkey. I dreamt I was in the French countryside on my grandfather's lap in the 40s. And my brother was the German soldier. He killed my grandfather, and he was going to try to save the kids, and he couldn't. I was gassed in a truck. And as soon as I had that dream, my career changed. And then everywhere I went, if it had to do with the Romani or Turkish, it was deja vu. It was like, oh, I know that. Why do I know that? So I don't know. It is more than a physical. It's more of a spiritual feeling, I think.
I apologize. I don't know if you guys got cut out, but it's just all of a sudden I dropped off. I apologize.
Oh,
Well, welcome back.
Yeah. Whatever happens, just keep going. But yeah, once in a while, StreamYard has been acting really funny lately. So, but I apologize. What did I miss?
It looked intentional.
Yeah.
We just thought you left and went to Turkey.
Yeah, man, you're talking about all that. Yeah, it's just, no, that's amazing though. I'm fascinated by that. I found I used to roller skate, and well, I still do, but I found like the dual stimulation. I could shut my brain down. I think that's what I liked about it with the music and doing that. It's just like, then I can have that dual stimulation and could kind of shut it all down and just it was kind of like my break.
It's like a meditation for you, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Did you find that when you were dancing, though? I mean, it's kind of like, then you get a break away from, it's like you need a little vacation once in a while.
Dance does do that. It's almost meditation, because I would practice 3 or 4 hours a day and teach 2-hour classes. So Red Bull was a friend of mine for a long time. I loved Red Bull back then. I wouldn't drink it now, but I loved it back then.
Could be worse things. The Red Bull ain't that bad.
Yeah, boy, I used to love it too.
Now, I was just curious. Now, it sounds like a parrot. Is that what you said you have?
I have an Amazon named Maggie. I don't know if you can see her. She's green. Come here, Mads. Come here, baby.
Do you feel like, has anything tried to speak through your parrot? Like your parrot has said things like it's not normal?
Interesting part about birds, they are really sensitive if anything walks in the house. They're an alarm system for spirits, especially at night.
I bet.
She throws a hissy if anything's in the house. The little one almost will have seizures when it happens. And they have this instinct to go, flight or fear of flight or something like that. They're very much that way because they're predators like birds. So it's a natural instinct for them to have that. So if anything comes in the house, they are the first to know, even before my cat.
Oh,
and
wow.
My cat's pretty intuitive, but the birds pick up on it. So I haven't had anything speak through them. She does talk to her old owner all the time, calls her Mabel.
Oh, wow.
So when I leave the room, she goes, Mabel, come in. Mabel, I love you. So.
Oh.
In a woman's voice.
Oh, really? That's interesting. Mm-hmm. So I wonder I never thought about that before. I wonder what's so intuitive about the birds. Like, yeah, that's interesting.
I think since things prey upon them, I think that instinct for them is very high. So if they feel like there's a predator around,
oh yeah, I didn't think about that.
They want to fly.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, fight, flight, or I always say deer in headlight.
yeah, they want to fly. Yeah, that's the first thing. Yeah,
it's like their instinct to do. That's crazy though. That picks up before the cat, because I always, you always think that cats are so intuitive. Like to
I know, and it's so funny because sometimes at night we get I'll get these knocks on the window, and I always have since a kid. They don't happen that often, but when they happen, usually nobody hears them. My Pekingese, she will lift her head up and look at the window. None of the other animals will, but my Pekingese will. If somebody knocks on the window, she's on it. She's like, "What is that?" So
that's good.
Yeah,
kind of protective.
Yeah, she won't bark or anything. She just looks at it like, "You gonna come in?"
Yeah, dogs. Yeah, they don't know if I play with them.
Don't let it in.
My dogs are going wild right now themselves.
What do you have?
Something's going on. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a big pit bull. He's about 100 pounds. I got a little mutt dog. She's cute. We're not sure what kind she is, and a German Shepherd that's 9 months old, and he is a handful.
Oh, I bet. I love animals.
My pit bull. I think my pit bull got abducted one night. As crazy as that sounds, I'm sleeping on the couch one night, and all of a sudden I wake up and my dog is on top of me, 100-pound pit bull. And he's scared, looking around, barking at stuff. And I don't know if there was something in the room or what. But that's one time that I've had my animals pick up on something that I can't explain.
Oh yeah, they're very intuitive.
Yeah,
I always listen
my
to my
roommate
animals.
had a pit bull, and ooh, he was. I mean, he only turned on me one time, but it was. I think they love them though. They're very protective, very protective.
Yeah.
Big baby, but
Oh yeah,
they need training. Yes. The owner of the dog, and that was who got bit the most. He would attack his owner.
Oh.
Man, but it was so funny if he came through the front door, but he would let you in the back door because there was always like a thing because it went out on a deck. And the dog would open the back door for you, but don't come through the front door. Yeah, they're very.
I bet your pit bull is a lover, isn't he?
Oh, he's such a yes. He's so spoiled. He's real humble, and the other dog, he's 9 months old, so he's struggling for that alpha position, and he lets him do it, but I try to balance it out for him all.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love animals. I do. I think it comes along with it, and that's interesting too. I wonder if they're, if they're interested in us. Like, why wouldn't they be interested in I don't know.
I'm sure they are. I'm sure they've taken our animals at some point. My animals never really, besides the knocking on the window, when that happens, they never wake up.
Oh wow.
The other, like the cat or the dogs, don't wake up when it happens.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
But
I've heard people talk about like vortexes or things kind of like opening up around, and I just remember one time I had a sighting. I call them light balls, and I call the night creeper. I had names for them. So there was a lot of them, and they were encapsulated. Like they were like if you were, and I realized I was like, man, if you were outside of this, nobody would see this. Like nobody would see this. And it is really fascinating on how I feel like I call it being locked in. Like when you have like you see one of those, it's like you anticipate them, they anticipate you. It's kind of like the game. But I know when they kind of tapered off, I was like, I miss them. As strange as that sounds, I really kind of did. I was like, man, that excitement, is kind of I think what I was maybe more enthralled by.
Is a lot of women feel that way, and a lot of abductees feel that way. They miss them.
Yeah.
I
don't know what I do about them, but yeah. It's a very strange relationship that we have, but yeah, I missed it.
Yeah, for me, unlike you, it started out more scary for me and uncomfortable. Where later on, when I started looking back and understanding what was going on, now it's more enjoyable and I'm more open and I'm ready for full disclosure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. I hope it happens soon.
You know what? As interesting as it sounds, I was watching a video where a lady set her boyfriend up, and it was like the news came on, and they're like, "Oh yeah, UFOs," and the poor guy. I mean, he like fell off his chair. He's calling his dad, and I thought, "Oh man, maybe I don't know. Is everybody ready for this?" Because I was all about ripping that Band-Aid off. Like let's move on here. But
I am curious. I would like them to let us know one way or another, because I would say probably 10 out of 5 people we've known in our lifetime probably have the same experiences. Even though we all have had different experiences, they're similar in a lot of ways.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But they're significant enough, like for you to remember. I always say like that point of reflection, like, and I might not find out like right away, but I've learned I used to get stuck and like on the memories. I'd be like, okay, what does this mean? Like, I was really just like stuck in that. And then once and then you have like this really big sense of urgency to like, you feel like, oh my gosh, I have this information. And I can tell like when new experiencers come in, because that sense of urgency that they have. And I try to explain, there's a lot of us, we're here for one another. Like it'll be okay to see, just kind of like step back and it will appear like they will. And they always answer your questions. I always feel like, anytime I've asked about something, they definitely have answered like that question. Have you ever, the third ones that I met, like I went and I can distinctly remember they were more like looked like you and I, but they still had like their eyes wrapped around, like they were wearing like those 80s glasses, the guys. It's only
That's
like
where my glasses went.
yeah, they stole them. And it's like we went on, I remember them, I got to look out and it was inner wherever we were, like inner, and I just know that the Orion like belt constellation had something to do with it. I'd always be like, there's the creepy Orion's belt, and is like, it's always like something, it seemed like that's where it really stemmed from or had a connection with. Did you ever have an experience like that where you were on a different plane or a different world? I don't even know, different planet, whatever you want to call it.
I don't know if I've had those experiences. I've had an affinity for the stars. As a child, I would just lay down on, for hours looking up at the stars.
Oh yeah.
I've only seen one craft, like physically seen a craft. Mm-hmm. And that was when I was driving home, when I was working in Dayton and living in Fort Wayne at the same time. I was driving home. I wasn't even thinking about any of this stuff. I was doing choreography in my head. We had dance concerts. So I was doing choreography, listening to music. And there was this big cornfield. And the one I saw, I thought it was like, it was shaped like that. It was solid black. And it was over a cornfield. Wow. And at first I was like, what? Because, I'm doing choreography in my head driving. All of a sudden, yeah. I was like, wait, what is this? And I turn and my foot is hitting the gas pedal. I'm like, oh no,
I'm out here.
And then all of a sudden, the weirdest thing happened. And I didn't even tell my husband when I got home about the black triangle. Both ends folded this way, the tip folded this way, and this way, and then a light, and it's gone.
Do you think it was a TR3B, or do you think it was? I have to ask, because what really bothers me is how much of this is our government. Like, how much of this, because there's different,
Because what my mom saw was different. My mom actually saw the traditional, like, pill-shaped silver UFO. What I saw was a black triangle, and it folded within itself, and then there was a light, and it disappeared.
That's pretty unique. That's not like TR3B reports that I've heard. They folded up on the corners and then disappeared.
And it started to fold. And, at first I thought it was crazy. I was like, what's it doing? And it's like I couldn't move the car fast enough. I wanted to know, but I didn't want to know. And, you see, I hear all these people, they can't drive, their car stops. No, mine was going. I made sure of that.
Oh, yeah. Pedal to the metal, for sure.
And I had that overwhelming feeling of get out, get out, get out. Like I wasn't supposed to see that. I drove home in total silence. I turned off all the music. I was in shock. I came home and my husband's like, you look tired. I didn't want to tell him. I was like, you already think I'm weird? But what I saw, I've never seen. And, and I thought about it and that's what I thought. Maybe it's one of our government. And they're manipulating now, and we just don't know it. And they're over a cornfield on 49. Nobody's around. It's fall. Nobody's around.
That's always when yeah. I was in the middle of nowhere when I saw the first one too, and it's like, whoo. I was so stunned. All I could do was just like stand there, and I dropped my camera. I got pictures of it before, but it just was like, it just slowly was creeping over, and I was like, oh boy, here we go. Here we go.
I slowly would go back.
I just remember my neighbor was with, and she was screaming, get in the car. And as soon as I broke focus, it was like over here, and I was like, oh boy. And then we both saw it shoot off, and it was like all of a sudden like 8 light balls, and I call them light balls. It's probably not, I mean, it doesn't sound very professional. I don't know what else 8. To call them. Yeah, I mean, what do you call them? It's whatever it is. But it broke off, and then we went driving on this road, and we have telephone wires here still out in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, it's becoming a thing of the past. But back then, and then we just saw it was like a wave. And we got out of the car and I looked up and I felt like it was over top of us. And I was like, okay, we better get out of here. You know, if we like something were to happen, we're not within like 20 miles of like civilization here. So I'd feel
Right.
better if we were just, you know, maybe a couple blocks away. Like, but yeah, it was unbelievable. I just remember we got back and I was like, okay, so you saw that, right? Yeah. You know, I'm like, what do we do now? You know, like, just what do you do?
It's always nice to have a witness.
Right? Not totally crazy. You saw it too, right? Yeah, but people, it was crazy because my friend, we had one come down on the road in front of us and it swerved and then it shot off. But we were following them, and the pictures, I always get better pictures in video, like even back then. But you didn't have like all this AI. It drives me crazy with this AI. But a part of me always thought, how much of this is our government? You know, how much of this is, you know, I don't
Our
know.
government has a lot of technology I believe we don't know about. And what I saw could have been very well our governments. But driving down 49 at dusk and at night, there was a few times I always felt like something was following me when nobody was around. And it was a legitimate fear of instinct. Like, I got to get home, something's watching me. But that was the first time I actually seen a physical craft.
Oh yeah,
And
the first time. Ooh, nothing like that.
that was only like 10 years ago. But
So
my mom saw them frequently. I mean, my mom would say she saw them often. And when the whole house lit up, I'm sure that was one over the house or something.
Oh,
was
for sure.
happening. And because she grabbed me and put me under the windowsill. That's where we stayed until the helicopter came.
Oh, the black helicopters.
Yeah, I mean, it was a helicopter.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
it was
yeah.
really, it was funny.
them.
My mom always thought her phone was being tapped, and she did have guys come to the door a couple times. So
Yeah, she probably was. I have had strange things. I've had like SUVs following, like just in the middle of nowhere, like my location, like, but it wasn't like a location would have tagged you back then. It was like these coordinates that took. It was only about a half mile off, and I thought, what? You know. Then I had stuff breaking in through, and then you get the trolls, and I'm like, it just got like crazy.
yeah.
And then when my cat ended up dead by the door and my cell phone, the chip of it went missing, I was like, and I pried that whole phone open to try and find that missing SIM chip, and it was nowhere to be found. I thought, this is it. I'm done, done with the UFO.
Right.
But yeah, it got me back in. So here.
Yeah,
I've considered that if the military or government, whatever, MJ-12, anybody, them groups, get wind that we having experiences, that they could do something with their crafts because they already know that we're open to it, that they would use those to influence us in whatever they want us to do. Plus, that they would use us, that if they know that these things were susceptible to extraterrestrial contact, that they could watch us to target them.
I'm sure we're being watched very closely if they're not working with us.
This really bothered me because in the beginning of all this, it was like, okay, if you were a civilian, they didn't care about anything you said. They didn't really care if we and then now talking to Stephen Bassett, as soon as we hit post disclosure, then come out that they're done with the government. They're going to start looking for the civilians. And I'm like, what?
They're going to be busy. There's so many people.
Yeah. And he's like, even people that don't know yet. He's like, the government, and they're gonna. And I was like, no. Not doing that. Not doing.
I'm moving to New York State in the woods.
Yeah, we're going where Rodney is.
No. In the middle of the woods, that's when you're most susceptible to this stuff. I'm living in a small town. I thought I wanted to go out into the country, but you're not safer out there, no.
You're right. Yeah, I guess when you think about it like that, I always think of the Chainsaw Massacre.
Out there. There's Bigfoot out there.
Yeah.
Have you seen Bigfoot? Has anyone seen? I have never. I think I've heard of him, and we went out and we've looked for him before, but I've not come across them. But I told my brother because he experiences them too, but he won't talk about it. He's very freaked out about it. He'll listen to like the podcast and he'll say like, no, like he's like, I can't talk about it like you can. And I'm like, do you think that I like to talk about it? Not necessarily.
I love stories about Bigfoots. I think Bigfoot people are the most down to earth people on the planet. I love talking to them. But no, that I've never seen a cryptid.
Me either.
Rodney,
you
see?
I didn't see Bigfoot, but me and my wife went for a walk up to where I grew up, and all my experiences started in Florence, New York. We walked back in the woods about 2 miles, put a trail cam in the woods just to see what we catch for just fun.
Yeah.
We go back to recover the camera, and we heard a pack of coyotes, and she's like, oh, should we turn around? I was like, no, we're already halfway out here. If I can't make a second trip back, we got to go. On the way back from the woods, we stopped at a rock to take a break. And all of a sudden, we heard something big and walking through the woods, and it was the typical tree knocks and things getting thrown around. And that pack of coyotes off to our right was real close, and we had to go right between this, what we thought was a possible Bigfoot, and this pack of coyotes to get home. So we just took a beeline right down the middle, and
Yeah.
Interesting. You say that because after my first experience, I made my brother. I was like, "We're going to go back out there," and he's like, "Well, we might not see it." I was like, "I don't care. We're going back out there." And I shined the camera, and I saw all these eyes, and it was a pack of coyotes. I was like, "Eric, back up to your truck slowly, and let's get inside. Don't ask me why. Just back up slowly and get inside." Like,
yeah.
I wonder. That's strange that you saw them too, like the pack of coyote. And then there's, I guess I've heard there's like a strange noise when they're leaving that they always make, but I've never heard.
All I heard was knocks on a tree, and there was shit getting thrown around. And we just decided we just need to leave the woods and pretend like we don't hear any of it.
Yeah, fast.
I grew up in them woods. I used to go out there all the time as a kid. I'd walk back in the woods until it got dark almost, and then I'd run all the way home just for fun. I don't know if I can go back in them woods by myself or without a gun at this point. So I'm not sure what's out there.
There's so much in New York City in those woods. You hear strange stuff. People see strange stuff in those woods. Yeah.
Oh yeah. People have gone like missing, like
in those woods.
Yeah. I heard something one time leaving my friend's house. There was a lot of bugs at night. You could hear these, not locusts. I can't remember what they call the bugs. Cicadas. You could hear the cicadas and some other bugs, crickets. And all of a sudden, I heard this one bug. It just sounded like it was really big. And it was off in the distance, maybe 100, 200 feet. And I was like, yep, I'm just going to get in my car. Pretend I didn't hear that.
Yes.
Yeah, if you ignore them. No, I can't remember who we had on, and they said the same thing. It was like that. I said, "How do you?" And they said, "Oh, I know who it was. It was Patrick Cross." And he said that you ignore him. He's like, "I just completely ignore him." He's got a lot of like demonic stuff that happens. It's just, I don't think I could do that. I don't think I could do that. So, do you think, going through all this? I mean, was there a certain period where you felt like it changed your course of life, or maybe like it's pretty profound if you think about it. I remember I was talking to Preston Dennett about it. I was like, man, how do you feel about being the UFO guy? And he didn't like it at first. He did not like it at first. And he's like, but then when you think about it, you're experiencing something so profound that people, not everybody can even wrap their mind around it. And I was like, yeah, no, you're right. Like, and asking you this too, I don't know if you're feeling comfortable talking about it, but I always say that there's trade-offs. It's you get there through trauma. I feel like there, like I've had a near-death experience. I drove with a dead guy that died while driving the car when I was like 8. We went through a cornfield. I thought we were dead. So that was like a really like moment, for me. I just accepted it. I didn't scream, didn't yell, anything like that. But I thought we were gonna die. And do you feel like there is, because I do feel like it hits those trauma points in people, it does. But 2, I feel like you get a gift, it's called a superpower maybe.
I think I think like any childhood trauma, if you go through a lot, I think you develop different attitude towards this stuff. I mean, my mom was a great mom, and my dad was a good dad. He was different, you know. They weren't made for each other. I could tell you that. But
Yeah.
there was a lot of trauma in her childhood, like bad trauma. And sometimes I think when you go through a lot of family trauma, alcoholism, drug addiction, all of that, that's been my experiences. You know, I was never addicted. I was very fortunate, especially the side that had a lot of Indian in it, tended to be alcoholics.
Oh, so you have some Native American, and that's why you see the spirit animals. I was going to ask you before. That makes sense now.
Yeah, my mom has Mohawk, Seneca Nation, I believe she told me. My dad's grandmother was full-blood Cherokee. So, yeah, and then my great-grandmother on that side died from alcoholism. My brother passed away from alcoholism. So I think trauma does something to you, and the experiences we have with being abductees or with having our abilities developed a little bit more because of our traumas, I think we use that as a safety net to know our surroundings.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And to protect us. I was so dyslexic as a child. The adults made more fun of me in the 80s than the kids did, you know?
Oh, yeah, they're brutal.
Oh, yeah, adults, you know, they had not a clue, you know? So that was traumatizing, seeing drugs, you know, all that trauma. That does something to you. And I think you can either be very strong and persistent and let your gifts develop with time and try to have it under. I escaped a lot with dance. Like when, you know, I practiced 2 or 3 hours, 4 hours a day and then would go teach. That's an escape.
Yeah. I get that. But it's a break too. Cause that's, you know, I always say that in the chaos, there's always reasoning and, you know, purpose. You just don't really understand at the time, but every single one of us, I believe, like, has had a level of that kind of, and then I just feel like that's the kind of like the pathway in. But yeah, it does play, and I've often wondered that, like, you know, because I don't like anything like I freaked out about the mask. Like I did whatever it was. I didn't care if you wore them. That I felt like I was being smothered. And I think you would think that I was like held captive or something, you know, like that lineage. Like, do you carry some of that? Do you think from, you know, generation to generation? Do you think that kind of like that burden is real?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it is, and I think you can break that trauma. I didn't have kids because of all the trauma. Well, one, I couldn't have kids. I could have adopted, but something told me no. I wanted to break a cycle in my family. Addiction is a huge problem in my family. And I didn't want to pass that on. And my dad was highly dyslexic. I'm dyslexic. So, you know, all those traumas, I think, makes us grow in this lifetime. I believe in reincarnation very strongly. And I think we go through things, and I don't judge people for going through anything.
Neither.
Whatever their problem is, whatever they do, their mistakes, everything to me is a learning lesson. Now, I won't stand there and get abused, obviously. Right. But to grow spiritually, we have to admit we all have traumas. Even the healthiest kid growing up had some trauma somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Ours might have been more intense, but, you know, I think I came out okay, you know.
You came out wonderful. Like, but that's just the part, you know, you get hard on your, like, down on yourself. And I know I mean, if there was a low point, I've hit it, but not like it was never addiction or anything like that. It's just, I don't know what I was recreating, obviously something, but I've learned from there. And it just, it took that to kind of humble me enough to stop, because you grew up with these westernized, way of like, oh, you're supposed to have, the 2 kids and live in, and then I'd find like as a therapist, they would come in and they were the most, they, first of all, the hidden, the secrets, and it was the most dysfunction that I saw. And I thought, man, I don't feel as bad anymore. Like after this, but
High pixel.
oh yeah, you heard it all. And I'd be like, man, I thought this was like the perfect I would have thought, if they hadn't been in there and I hadn't heard what I heard, I would have thought they were just, this perfect family and, everything. But, you get so stuck. This material stuff, we're here for a human experience. And let me tell you, I think that I've lived a pretty full one. And, whatever happens next, I just, take it as it comes. You just take it as it comes. But yeah.
Just in it for the ride at this point.
Yeah, learn to ride the wave. Oh,
It's true. I mean, without all of my mistakes I've made in life, I wouldn't be the person I am now.
absolutely.
There's no way. And like you said, I've seen the most, wonderful families out in public, but behind closed doors, they're weird.
Oh yeah. Say that again.
So I'm sure people say that about my family.
You say just tell them, Rodney, your weirdness. That's what I always say. Like, oh my God, I know it. Okay, I know what it is. I got it. And
I've experienced too many parts of this phenomenon. My kids are experiencing it. Yeah, it's hard to understand first.
Your kids experience it. See, my kiddo saw the first one with my brother, but he doesn't really remember. But how to explain it? Like time dilation. He'd say that he was able to, because we couldn't believe it. Like he'd play like sports and it was just right on. And I was like, how do you do that? And he kind of explained how he kind of stretched out. It was very strange. And I was like, wow. Now you hear a little bit about it, but that was kind of his thing.
Yeah.
Now he's a teenager. I said, they're that age.
Aww.
Yeah. Oh, is that your bird? Want to say hello? Oh, those are cats.
My cat is like rubbing against you guys.
Oh, I love cats. I do. I might tell my dog to talk, like say hello, and like I would give them treats. It was so cute. They mimic. They're just amazing. They really are.
She shocks me. This bird, like if I cry, the bird will say she loves me. She goes, I love you. So they're very intuitive. They're almost empathic in a sense. And she talks to me. She knows when I'm scared and she'll talk. And wow. I love her. But she has several voices. She has an old lady's voice and a man's voice, which I think is the past owner. She was owned for 27 years. She was 27 when I got her.
27? How long do they live?
About 50.
Really?
I would never buy a baby bird because of that. Yeah, they live a long time. And she mourned. She was really sick when I got her. The man approached me and asked if I would bid on his bird at a bird auction. And I saw her across the room, and it was so weird. I'm walking. Aww. I'm getting a cockatiel cage for my Freya. I'm walking, and there's Maggie in front of me, and it's like when I saw my husband. I was like, oh,
that's awesome.
And this little old man that looks like, from Donkey Kong, Mario Brothers or whatever, comes over really fast, and he goes, do you like this bird? And I'm like, oh, I love this bird. He goes, bid on my bird. I was like, oh, no. He had 12 birds and his wife was ill.
Oh, I was going to say, how do you get rid of one after 27 years? That's a long time.
He saw me and we bonded and he knew it. So I had to outbid this gentleman. So she was money. But
knock him out.
I know my girlfriend bought raffle tickets. I won food and a new bird cage.
Oh wow! See, it was meant to be.
She has a condo.
Oh, I love it. Oh, I
Yeah.
really are. I'm just so amazed. I'm like, if animals been so intuitive, like, now I think people are starting to realize like more and more. I mean, those buttons they have you ever seen those with cats and dogs? They're pressing them and talking. I was like, wow, they know probably a lot more than we thought. So, yeah.
Yes.
Like they probably
There
think
are a
we're
couple.
their slaves in their little cat world.
I'm the maid to the cat, that's for sure.
Yeah, right.
There is an extraordinary lady named Karen Anderson. I don't know if you've heard of her. She's an animal intuitive, and she has these wonderful books out. So you should check her out. She's
Oh yeah.
amazing. She has an animal rescue. She goes to the shelter and gets animals that nobody wants, that
Oh.
nobody would adopt, and she lets them live out their life at the ranch.
Oh.
And I know I have a deep respect for Karen, like a deep, deep respect.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
she's
I'd love
another
to hear.
Sagittarian.
Love it. Love it. Yeah, no, I'm so interested and I've heard it before. Like, the pets, like, and I've never experienced one, like, but I've heard so many people, it's like they connect with it and, almost like, oh, your animals, coming forward. I'm like, oh, that's kind of comforting,
Yeah,
That's
they're
just, it's like unconditional.
absolutely. Now, Pixel, my cat, she was outside. She decided she wanted in the house. And she meowed around our house all night till we let her in. My husband let her in. She was a neighborhood cat, so they clipped her ear and she had just been fixed.
Aw.
So it was too soon for her to even be released.
Yeah.
And the next morning, he goes, I'll just let her out the next morning. It will be fine. He went to open the door to let her out. She turned around and ran back in the house. She's like,
I'm out of here. I'm going.
nope, I'm not going.
I'm out.
Till this day, she won't go outside.
Oh, really?
Well, speaking of getting out of here, I do need to get ready to go get my wife from work, and I'll let you ladies have the floor together. But before I go, when Coley said you were going to be speaking with Dee Moonflyer, the first thing that came to mind was like astral projection and astral travel. Is that how the name comes in, Dee Moonflyer?
I have a fascination with the moon.
Okay.
Absolute fascination with the moon.
That's amazing. Well, we are coming up on the second hour, but we'd like to invite you back. And
Anytime,
I'd love to
guys.
do a collab. Yeah, gosh, I feel like we're just scratching the surface. But yeah,
If she comes back, my wife's got to sit up here with you guys, not me, because she can really relate to the medium stuff, and she's got to come back and listen to this rebroadcast.
Well, Rodney, why you can bring her on? Bring her on anytime.
She's working. She works
I guess
full
you gotta go
time. I'm
pick her up.
disabled. Yeah, I got all the free time.
Well, you know what? We'll have to plan so she can come on because I'm very interested in hearing her story as well. But yeah,
You would love to hear the things she's got. Yeah.
I've seen her in chat, so it fascinates me. Like, that's awesome. That's awesome. So yeah, like I guess we could we'll close on part 1, and hopefully I'll schedule a time and get you back on. And we'd love to do a collab with you too. Maybe we could get the pet medium. That'd be great. I would love to hear. Yes, Karen.
Oh,
yeah,
love her. She's amazing.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I want to thank you for coming on and giving us your time. Yeah, and please, can you tell everybody where they can find you?
Well, I'm on Instagram, Facebook. I'm on Spotify, iHeart, all of the podcasting, iTunes. The show's once a week. Pretty soon it's going to be twice a week. I'm wanting to do other projects now. So I want to do one on crystals, fire Rodney, and maybe 15 mini sections each week on my past experiences. So
that would be great. I would like. I'm fascinated by your show. I started watching it when you had contacted me. I'm like, oh, she's great. She's great. So yes, that's awesome. So it's been such a pleasure meeting you, and I won't take up any more of your time. Yeah. So I'll be in touch soon, and you got my number. You can text me anytime. But thank you. Yeah.
Bye,
bye.
everybody. Bye,
what
Joseph.
A beautiful soul. Yeah. Oh, how wonderful. I absolutely have just getting to know her has just been such a pleasure. She's such a beautiful person inside and out. So if you have not seen her podcast, you need to check it out because she's absolutely like a wonderful host, a wonderful person. It's so heartwarming and I just love it. I just absolutely love it. So I feel very honored to have gotten to know her and it's just this is what it's all about connecting with one another. And I say, be good to one another. Don't be so easy, like she said. Don't be so quick to judge. Be good to one another. So, on behalf of SNX Radio, this is Coley, and enjoyed it. We have tomorrow, we have Preston Dennett and Dolly Saffron, which love them, love. And then we have Joseph Grimm on Sunday. So we got a full weekend. So please come back and, maybe we get to hear more about, we have some fascinating people coming up. So yeah, definitely. So everybody enjoy your weekend. It's actually been a very pleasurable night. I hope that you enjoyed the show also. So on that note, I'm going to say goodbye and thank you for taking the journey into the unknown with SNX Radio.
For the light, guided by visions that illuminate the night. Mystery cloaked in the past unknown. Truth and discovery seeds we sow. In this starlit wonder we seek the key. So unlock the secrets of our galaxy. Chasing the dreams that fill the night. Stars are our compass and time is our friend. Together we'll journey where stories transcend. Mystery cloaked in the vast unknown. Truth and discovery seeds we sow. In the starlit wonder we seek the key. To unlock the secrets of our galaxy. Through endless horizons, our spirits ignite. Chasing the dreams that fill the night. Stars are our compass, and time is our friend. Together we'll journey where stories transcend. Through endless horizons, our spirits ignite. Chasing the dreams that fill the night. Chasing the dreams that fill the night. A simple night, we learn our name. A simple name, a wonder we seek the key. To unlock the secrets of our galaxy. First and love with the cosmos, whisper our name. A symphony of wonder unheard of a celestial night. In the each passing moment, our wisdom grows. In the dance of the universe, the truth flows. In the quiet of the night, we dream and fly. With questions that echo through an endless sky. Bound by the stars, our story unfolds. In the universe, our destinies are told.